What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about how to get started in the automotive industry. Now, I'm going to be going over some of the tips and tricks that I use to help people get started. And we're going to be talking everything from if you want to be a car dealer, you want to start a rental car company, auto body shop, car flipping, auto repair, all those things. This is going to be kind of an all-encompassing video of how to get started in the actual industry, because when I was in LA, I went to a lot of different car shows and I talked to a lot of people, and everybody was like, well, how do I get started? I just want to get started, you know? And so I figured this would be a good video to kind of, I guess, let people know that it's really not that hard to get started in the business. You just got to get your foot in the door and start a few places. Now, I'm going to go over all those. Plus, I totally forgot my last video. We were supposed to announce the 2 gift card winners of the Harbor Freight gift card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So let me go ahead and grab my phone and do our highly scientific method of picking people. And we are going to pick Mr. Cameron Russell. Say something positive. I'd buy that for $1. Well, here's something positive. You just won a $100 gift card. All you have to do is email us at lucky@automotivelife, basically prove this you, and we'll go ahead and we'll mail you out that gift card. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the next person. The next winner is Hustle with Julian. His comment was, what do you think of AutoNation auctions? Good place to buy. Congratulations, Julian. You are another winner. Like I said, just email us at lucky@automotivelife.com. Send us your information. We'll go ahead and mail you out that gift card. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to keep the giveaway going. I'm going to go ahead and switch it up to a consulting call or a gift card. So whatever you want. So if you need help in your business or anything else, you get a 1-hour consultation with me. Or if you want a $100 gift card, you can pick the one. And so all you got to do to enter for this thing is literally just put a comment in the section below. Ask me a question. I'd buy that for $1. Toast. You want to tell me a funny joke? You want to talk about anything in your market? Anything qualifies you. All you got to do is just put a comment in the section below. So now that we got that all the way, let's go ahead and get into the video. So a lot of people have this misconception that getting in the automotive industry is extremely expensive, or you got to know somebody. So today we're going to be talking about how to actually get started, and basically either if you want to be a dealer, own a car rental company, you want to own a body shop, collision shop, or you just want to flip cars, do wholesaling, whatever it is, we're going to help you do that. Now, I know the task seems daunting and it seems like a lot, but just like we tell everybody, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. So we're going to go ahead and give you a very simple breakdown of how to get actually into the automotive industry. Now, what I like to tell people is if I was going to start over again, which I pretty much, it's impossible to do, but if I were, I would start with the automotive repair side, which that's the way I went. The reason why I tell people to get into the automotive repair sector first is because that knowledge that you gain in that sector will help you with everything, whether you want to be a dealer, you want to be a wholesaler, you want to open up a rental car company. That is a good foundation to save you a lot of money and a lot of headaches when you get started. So when you go out and you start your automotive journey, I usually recommend, just learning online. If you have a cheap car, you want to start off doing your brakes, watch a few videos, talk to one of your friends that's done it before, and get started of maybe just wrenching on your own personal car. After that, go out and maybe, offer to fix some friends' cars for a few bucks or even for free, just to gain your knowledge. Every time you want to basically push your mechanical aptitude a little bit more by doing these subtle projects. Now, I know this is going to come off really bad, but I recommend people, if you want to get into the auto repair industry, do not go to school. I know that sounds horrible. There's a lot of trade schools that are probably freaking out right now wondering what the hell. The reason I say is because if you were to spend $20, $30, $50, $60,000 in going to school, if you were to go be an apprentice or a helper at just a general garage, a small mom and pop garage, you will learn more in a year there than you will being 2 years at most of these colleges. Now, yes, you get to use some fancy tools at the schools, and yes, they have partnerships with like Ford, Porsche, Toyota, Honda. If that's what you want to do, then you can go ahead and do that. And you can also do that if you go to a franchise store. You can start as a lube tech and work your way up to a master mechanic. Either way, there's both ways to do it, but I believe that if you go directly to school, it will hurt you unless you're going to like maybe a night school where you're working in the daytime, and then at night you're taking your classes for automotive repair. And even if you did an online class, I think that'll be beneficial instead of actually physically going to a class, gathering student debt and not really doing anything. Where I think that if you actually, I'm a person that you gotta practice. I met a lot of students and a lot of people that went to school at some of these really great tech schools, and when they came to work at our shops, they were absolutely awful. And it's not their fault, it's because they didn't have a lot of real world experience. When it comes to diagnosing a car, you got to have experience in working with cars. You can't go from the book, well, it has low voltage, so it's got to be the alternator. Could be the alternator, could be the battery, could be the wiring, could be resistance. Let's go ahead and start checking down the tree. And it's like, unless you physically do that every single day, it's very hard to keep up with. So I would recommend, like I said, getting a helper shop or a helper position or an apprentice at an automotive repair shop. And believe it or not, even if you do it on a Friday, Saturday, or a Saturday, Sunday, most shops will take in apprentices. When I had my shop, we used to do the same thing. Kids would come in, hey, I just want to learn. We'd let them work on the weekends. Once they got good enough where they can do projects, we'd tip them out a few bucks, especially when you just want to learn and tinker with your own car. And if you ask for minimal amount of money, or if most apprentices, they don't work for anything, which I'll never tell you to work for free, but some people do that just to gain the experience and the knowledge to get in there. So that's a fast way of getting into the auto biz world. Get into that one first. Learn how to fix cars, because once you do that, you can go to branch off to everything and you'll be very successful. Now, when it comes to, we'll go into auto body. Auto body's very similar. You know, a lot of people love the fact of, you know, fixing wrecked cars is really popular. You know, learning how to paint, do body work, you know. I've seen people that were really good with wet sanding, polishing, can literally take a car from junk to beautiful and flip it for another $1,500, $2,000 more than what they bought it for. So that is definitely a skill and an art that you can make a lot of money from. But it's the exact same thing with auto repair. I don't recommend going to school. I recommend going online, taking some classes, learning from YouTube, and then find a small local body shop in your area that you can work with. You know, work on the weekends, offer to help, do whatever you can to get your foot into the business. Now, you know, a lot of people are like, well, I want to do exotic cars and I want to fix this stuff up and I want to work on like superchargers, blowers. Be humble. I'm going to tell you right now, the automotive business is dirty, it's grimy, it's messy, and it takes a lot of work. But I promise you, it pays massive dividends if you put your time in. Like right now, I love to tinker with cars, but do I want to work on them every day? No, but I had to in the beginning because there was no other way I could pay my bills to build myself up to what I have now. So start off there. Like I said, do some door knocking and get a job, work weekends, and I promise you it'll definitely pay off. Now, the next one we're going to go into is car flipping. Now, a lot of people think that you got to have this massive, massive amount of money to flip cars. You know, we go to the auction, we go out and buy $20,000, $30,000 cars, we fix them up, we sell them. But the reason why I don't show any of that stuff on my channel is because I buy these cheap cars to show you guys that if you have 500, 800, 600 bucks, you can basically start off with your flips. Now, if you want to become a car flipper or a wholesaler, I recommend doing the exact same thing. You know, start with your personal car. A lot of people say, well, I don't have money to buy another car. Perfect example is your personal car. You know, I've seen flippers and wholesalers that have the most shittiest cars that they drive. You always want to treat your car like it's ready for sale. So start there. Get your car, clean it up as best you can. If you don't have a lot of money, let's say the hood's faded and you can't paint it, look at some of the different types of waxes that it takes to actually polish out your hood. Get a $10 buffer from Harbor Freight or used on Craigslist, whatever. Polish that thing up, practice on it, clean your car, learn how to take pictures, start talking to dealers, wholesalers, look on Craigslist, see what cars are going for every day, do your research, you know. Before you basically just jump into the car business and buy a car, you should be doing research. I did a video a while back about me talking about how I became a dealer. For 2 years, I talked to other dealerships, I talked to banks about their problems, their headaches, and everything else before I even started flipping cars. So even if you want to get started in flipping cars, you don't have to go out to buy a car. You can literally just scroll through Craigslist and Facebook and OfferUp and look at what your market's paying. If you, every day you're looking and you see that, you know, a Toyota Camry is 2003 is selling for $29.95, and all of a sudden you see one posted for $1,500, but you know the average one's $29.95. Go buy it, clean it up, put it back online, and that's how you get familiar with your market. You're always constantly looking. You're trying to learn as much as you can. So even if you don't have the capital, just to start off, you want to learn your market. You want to start getting to know the prices of cars. Also, buddy up with either a mechanic, or hopefully you'll start learning your mechanical knowledge. Leverage that and ask the mechanic what's the most common problems on particular cars, what cars to stay away from. Very simple stuff that'll start you down your journey if you want to become a wholesaler or a car flipper. Now, I recommend once you start flipping cars, do it so you can build a little bit of a bankroll. But eventually, once you start flipping quite a few cars, you want to go ahead and move over and get your wholesaler's license, so this way you don't get in trouble with the DMV. Now, the next one we're going to be talking about is car rental business. Now, I know that's a hot topic right now. A lot of people are trying to jump back into the industry. Now, you guys know I'm not a big fan of Turo, but Turo is one of the greatest things that happened to the rental car business. And let me explain why. The reason is that it gave everybody an opportunity at a very low cost of entry to get into the business. Now, when I started, you had to have, 5 to 10 cars, you had to have a commercial policy, you had to have a physical building, you had to have X, Y, and Z, and it costs a lot of money to start. You're looking at maybe $20, $30, $40, $50,000 just to start off your business, not including purchasing cars. But now, you, just a regular person, and your cell phone can literally get on Turo, take a few pictures, and upload your car and put it on there. Now, as we know, Turo is extremely saturated right now, and there's a lot of markets, which you guys have seen in the comment section below, that are hurting. People are not renting out as much as they can. Now, even though it is saturated and you're thinking about getting into the rental car business, I would still recommend getting on Turo because it's very simple, it's very easy. It gives you a chance to guinea pig the system to see if you even like it. Because I've seen a lot of people go out and buy 6, 7 cars, start renting out cars, and absolutely hate it. When you got to deal with Turo claims, you got to deal with the crazy people messing up your cars and stuff like that. And so, with Turo, at least it gives you that option where you can go ahead and start off with a very low cost of entry and slowly build your fleet. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Do not jump into a rental car business until you're ready, because remember, once you get off this platform, your costs are going to increase, if not double. So it's very important that you need to make consistent money. You need to know what you're doing before you leave the platform. Now, like I said, this is a good starter step. Once you get in here, maybe hire a car, a few of the other apps, get around, share, start off that entry and then slowly build your fleet. Once you get 3 to 5 cars, you're doing this consistently, it's good, go ahead and apply for your rental car license and build your business. But once again, do not get off of Turo unless you're absolutely ready, because it's free to get on there. You can post your car. It doesn't cost you to post it, only costs you when you physically rent it. And that's a good thing. Once you open up your rental car business, you're having costs every month, every day, and it's just hard money, hard costs. So, like I said, when you get started, do that. Also, if you want, go to a small local mom and pop's either rental car company or Hertz or Enterprise. Try to get a part-time job. See the business. I don't know why people are so anxious to jump into businesses they know nothing about. If I've seen a lot of people go to college for 5, 6 years, get out of college, go try their job and realize they hate it. And I'm like, you guys didn't get a chance to go do like a job day where you could follow somebody around in your job for a day? And they're like, no. So before you make the investment, maybe take a few days, follow somebody at a rental car company, ask them if you could work on the weekends, just so you can get your foot in the door and see if it's even something that you want to do before you spend a bunch of capital, spend a bunch of time, and all this other crazy stuff. So that's on rental cars. So we're going to go ahead and get into the dealership end. Now, when you're a dealer, it's very hard to start off, with no money or little money. So we're going to go ahead and go the other route with actually going into a dealership and working for them. I highly recommend it because dealership business is probably the most lucrative out of all the automotive businesses. But the learning curve is very, very steep. And it costs you a lot of money every time you make a mistake. So I highly recommend, if you love the car business, you want to open up a dealership, you want to sell cars, flip cars, broker, wholesale, all that other fun stuff, go at a small local mom and pop's dealership and apply there. Work sales. Be patient, be humble. I'll be honest with you, if you're thinking about doing this, do this for at least minimum 6 months to a year. Do not go any less than that, because it's going to take you a long time, one, to learn how you sell. I don't care if you think you're a rock star or you think you're cool and you know what sells. It doesn't matter. You need to go to an actual place where you do it every day and you can get consistent. Because everybody can be a rock star 1 month, but it's being consistent every single month is what's going to count. Plus, there's going to be a lot of things that you don't realize that's going to happen. We talk about on this channel about recourse with banks. 90% of dealers don't even know how to do finance. They hire finance managers to do it. They don't know how to purchase cars. They don't know how to fix cars. And you're not going to learn any of these headaches or pitfalls until you're actually in the mud spending money to fix it, unless you work at a small dealership. Now, the reason why I'm really keen on going to a small dealership compared to a franchise store is franchise stores have millions of dollars. They have a big budget for marketing. They have a big budget for everything. So they run pretty much just it's easy for them. Where a small independent shop, they have to run lean and have to do everything correctly and maybe a little bit more precise, because if they have maybe a buyback or they have too much money spent in marketing or they lose money or whatever else, it affects them twice as hard as something like a franchise store. So it'll help you basically learn how to be more frugal with your money, how to be more precise when it comes to actually making management decisions, buying cars, learning about the finance, because everything that's every dollar that's being lost is coming out of the owner's pocket, and you could physically see that. And most small independent dealers, a lot of the owners are physically there, so you can also learn from them. You know, hey, what do you love about the car business? What do you hate about it? And you know, all you got to do is ask them. They'll tell you all the time, I hate the customers, I hate the financing, I hate this, I hate this. Sit there and listen with open ears. I don't care if you've been flipping cars for 30 years and you think you can open up a dealership and you think you're the man. You will fail. Every time we go set up a dealership, it's either new people or it's people that thought they knew what they were doing and they got in trouble and now they're, you know, in debt. They have a bunch of issues, a bunch of problems. You know, be extremely humble. I personally screwed up so many times. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because I even took the time to learn for 2 years. And I still lost money. Just to let you know how complicated it is. You know, you make 1 or 2 wrong mistakes, even stuff that's not even your fault. Like we talked about bank recourse. I'll say that over and over again. You know, I knew about recourse. I tried to manage as best I can, but you're still gonna have people, you know, screw you over in recourse. And if you guys don't know what recourse is, basically if I sell you a car and you have bad credit, I'm on the hook for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, whatever you sign. And if the customer doesn't make their payments, I have to pay the bank back whatever money. Let's say it's a $20,000 car. I have to pay them back the $20,000, and then I got to go chase my car, and hopefully I could find it. If not, you just lost $20,000. So, you know, imagine getting 3, 4, 5, 6 of those things in 1 month. That's what happens when it comes to being a used car dealer. So there's ways to mitigate it, you know, which I won't talk about. It's something you got to pay for the classes, but or consulting. But there's a few ways that it bites people in the butt, and that's why we want to avoid those things. But once you get started, like I said, work for a dealership, do sales, talk to the finance manager, talk to the mechanics in the back, you know, talk to everybody. Learn as much as you can before you go out and spend a bunch of money. Now, if you're fortunate enough and you have a little bit of capital, then I would definitely recommend doing, you know, like either a partnership with maybe a small dealership. Say, hey, look, man, I'm going to follow you around for a month. I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars to follow you around. Give them a few bucks just to follow around the dealership, have them show you around. Or you could pay for like training or classes from somebody like me, you know, and then go ahead and jump into the business, because if you have a little bit of capital, it does open up a lot of things, but still the knowledge is key when it comes to buying the cars, learning the finance, learning how to hire people. And I'll be honest with you, I'll tell you right now, and every dealer is going to agree with me, if you don't know the business, your employees are going to rob you blind. They're going to steal trades. They're going to rewrite contracts. They're going to set you up with really bad recourse that's going to screw you over. You know, I don't want to be too negative, because I know 2022 we're supposed to be all positive, but I want to tell you a quick story, and this is why it's so important that you learn everything from A to Z when you become a dealer. Now, this particular dealer group is out of Houston, Texas. Great group of guys, but they unfortunately had to close their business last month. We tried to help them. We did a bunch of things, but there was nothing we could do. They were too far into a hole. So what happened is I remember speaking to this gentleman about a year and a half ago, and he wanted to get in the car business, and we told him what to do. And, you know, he had a little bit of money, but he didn't want to waste his time working at a dealership. He wanted to just jump right in. And he's like, well, I know people, I'll just hire this guy, you know. And so he went to a used car dealership, found a finance manager, and he's like, oh, thought he was good. So he's like, well, I'm going to hire this guy and bring him over to my store. So him not knowing the business, hired this finance manager, brought him over to the store and made a deal with him. Hey, I'll pay you X amount of dollars for salary, plus I'll give you a bonus for every car you sell over that. You know, well, the first month they blew out like 60 cars. And then all of a sudden they were consistently selling about 60 to 80 cars every month. And the guy was hitting his bonuses. The owner was super excited because he was just making money. He's like, wow, I'm selling these cars. This is easy. It's fun. I love it. Anyways, 6 months down the road, recourses started piling up. 2 cars came in the first week, second week, another 2 cars. And he told them, this is part of the business. This is what it is. You know, he didn't wig out about it too much. He's like, no problem. He paid him off. He was fortunate enough to get the cars back. But then what happened is the next month, around the 7th, 8th month, they kept coming in. every week there was 2, 3, 4 buybacks. And he was writing checks for, 20, 30, 60, 100K, and some of the cars they weren't getting back. So now it's actually affecting him. He's like, well, I'm losing tons of money. Well, finally he started getting upset, was calling us like, what's going on? Why are my buybacks? I'm like, well, it's your finance manager. Find out how long he signed contracts for. And what happened is his finance manager was signing 4 to 6 month buyback courses just to get these deals bought. And that's the problem you're going to have, is if you don't know the business, it's going to bite you in the ass. So this guy wanted to hit his bonus. So this finance manager, every bank that came in, oh, we don't want to buy it, it costs too much. Okay, what if I give you 4 to 6 months of recourse? Okay, we'll buy it and we'll lower the fee. Perfect. Finance manager would sign it, send it in, he would get his check, and the owner's left holding the bag. Well, when we went down there trying to help him out, we were working with a few of the banks, but we had so many banks that were coming back for recourses. We're talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. There was nothing we could absolutely do unless he had a big chunk of money. I told him, do you want to, refinance your house, start over? And he's like, I don't want to mess with it. I'm out of the business. I'm done. And so unfortunately he closed his business. And I don't want that to happen to you guys, because yes, he did have money, but like I said, when you start doing finance, you start doing other stuff, your employees will try to rob you blind. And that one little mistake that he didn't learn about finance, didn't learn to check on it, cost him, pretty much his livelihood, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Plus, I think he probably has to file bankruptcy, unfortunately. So you don't want to be that way. So when you start off in your business, like I said, small mom and pop's dealership, stay there for 6 months to a year, learn everything from A to Z, because I'm telling you, it's extremely important, because one thing's going to bite you in the ass. It's usually recon, finance, and your flooring lines, your lines of credit. Stay away from those. Just in the beginning, start off with cheap cars. Don't go into those massive lines of credit, because they will take up all your money. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. And once again, we are doing that giveaway. So if you want either a consulting call or if you want a gift card, you guys pick or choose. We're going to pick a winner on Monday. So like I said, just leave a comment down below. I don't care what it is. And what is it? Oh, smash the like button for YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so this way you're notified of all of our stuff. Follow us on Instagram at automotive.life, and we'll see you next video.